Hi there folks, Harry here, and welcome to this play-along video for Fantasy Map Maker. So, Fantasy Map Maker is a roll and write style game in which we are trying to make our own fantasy map as we are completing different quests along the way. In this video, I will show you kind of how the game works, but I won't go into too much detail about all the different rules. This will basically be a play-along style video, so if you want to play with me, you can, and we can have a competition as to who can score highest, and if we don't score that well, that doesn't matter. We've still made a fantasy map in the process. So let's get started. So in any game of Fantasy Map Maker, we need to start by choosing some quests, and I have my quest cards here, and we need to choose one of each color, so one of each category. I'm just going to randomly select these. Alrighty, so I've randomly selected 5 quests that we are going to be pursuing in the game. I'll briefly run through them, and then we'll get started. So, firstly, our geology quest is going to be the Ocean Expanse, which will give us 2 points per ocean-only space. So we're going to try to create a bit of an open area of ocean in our map. Next we have Distant Lands, which will give us 4 points per space that contains a landmark, yet has no landmarks in surrounding spaces, so we want to make sure we separate our different landmarks in our map. Next one we have Flowing Streams, which is going to give us 2 points per space that contains forest and a stream. And then next we have our Towns quest, which will give us which is called Traveler's Rest, which will earn points for spaces with roads that contain houses but have no houses in the surrounding spaces. So we want to basically link different towns together through roads, but making sure that they're also separated. So a bit similar to this landmarks quest, actually, this one. And lastly, we have the Barren Wasteland, which is going to give us 2 points per unused feature in the wheel. So these are all our features in the wheel. So anyone that goes unused, we get 2 points for at the end of the game. All right, so those are the quests we are pursuing. There are also some event cards, but in this game, I think we won't play with those. We'll just play with just the quests, and let's see how we go. So we'll get started with the first landmark. I'll roll the dice. Okay, so I got 1 and 5. Okay, now in this game, I am going to be playing just with a pen, just so it shows up a bit better in the video. But of course, when you're playing at home, it's probably best to use a pencil and eraser. So if you do make any little mistakes, you can always go back and fix that. But I'm not going to worry too much about that for this video. So we start with our first landmark, and it was a 1 and a 5. And oh, I should say as well, before we get into that, I should put the number of each quest, which is shown in the upper left corner in our quest section. So the first roll was 1 and 5, and we have to choose a landmark from these selected here, from these options here, to add to either this space here, the first column and 5th row, or this space here, the 1st row and 5th column space. So that's what the 1 and 5 refers to. And I think we will go, thinking about the Traveler's Rest quest, that was a nice run there. I think we'll go a castle, because a castle is going to give us 3 houses instantly. So we're already going to start to score with that. So, and let's maybe we'll make it down here. Alright, so there's my castle, and that's the first landmark. So let's move on to the next round. Alright, 3 and 3. So in this case, I have to put a 3 in the 3rd wedge. I don't have a choice. If we're playing with events, this may have triggered an event in the 3 and 3 slot, but we're not. So in this case, we're going to put a 3 here, and we're going to do 3 value river. And rivers aren't going to score much in this particular group of quests, because our nature quest is more about forests and streams. So I'm not too worried about this, and I want to start exploring new areas of the map. So one rule of Fantasy Map Maker is anytime you do place a feature in general, it must be, part of the feature must be in an explored space. So right now I only have this explored space, so I want to try to start exploring new areas. Alright, so here's my river done, and in this case I actually drew it with a little bit of a broken line, because that way that I can add some streams to it later, because I am using pen, of course, in this case. But if you're using pencil, you can just draw it as is, and then just make any minor adjustments with your eraser there. One thing I didn't mention is, if you are playing along at home, you can use the same quests as me, and of course just use the same dice results, and then see how you went at the end of the game. All right, so let's move on to the next round. All right, 1 and 4. All right, so now it's starting to open up a bit. I can choose either the first wedge or the fourth wedge. So I have to apply one of the dice results to the wedge, and the other to a feature within that wedge that is available, that is connected to a previously completed or feature. So I could either do a 4 here, have 4 mountains, or 1 forest. I'm thinking about this quest here, so I don't want to choose the fourth wedge. I think I'll just do 4 mountains, and they have to be crossing over the intersections of the map. So maybe I will, and also the edges do count. So I think I'll choose these bottom 4 edges. Alrighty, that's done. So I have my mountain range here, and it is crossing over 4 intersections. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, 4 and 3. Okay, so at this point I can choose the fourth wedge or the third wedge, and I've got basically 3 options here. I do want to start getting this forest happening for my nature quest, so I think I'll choose that, and I'll place a 3 here. And forests follow the same placement rules as mountains, so I'm going to go ahead and add my section of 3 forests to my map. Alrighty, so here's my forest crossing over 3 intersections. Alright, let's see what's next. Alright, 6 and 5. Alright, so I can choose a coastline or a road at this point, and I'm thinking about this quest here, which has us connect different disparate towns with roads. I think that's going to be the best option. So let's choose a 5, and let's add a road that is going to cross over 5 different grid lines or the border of the map. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Alright, so here's my road crossing over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the grid lines. Alright, and let's see what's next. 4 and 1. I think now we will choose 4, we'll assign the 4 to coastline, and coastlines function the same as roads in that they need to cross over the grid lines as many times as the number you have. So I have to cross over 4 times, and I'm also thinking about creating this ocean expanse. So I think I might try to start to create a bit of an ocean area in the upper right corner of my map, and I'll start to kind of clear that area now. So let's go ahead and add these coastlines. Okay, alright, so it's a little messy now, but you can kind of see how the map is starting to come along. This coastline I've added crosses over 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4, with the edge also counting as one of the grid lines, of course, as well. Alright, so let's see what's next. 4 and 5. 4 and 5, alrighty. Let's see. So I could go here, keep making my coastlines, or I could also keep making coastlines here, but starting to explore this wedge a bit more. Or I could add more road. And I think I do want to kind of work out how the coastlines are going to go pretty early on. So I think we'll explore more of this fourth wedge which is also going to help us get closer to ending the game, which will mean that hopefully we have more unused features to help with the wheel quest down here. So let's do that. Let's choose the 5 and assign it here, and let's keep adding our coastlines. Alright, so that is my coastline done, and again it's crossing over 5 times, and I have left a few gaps here just because I'm using pen, and I might want to add some river mouths to these lines for the coast a bit later. Alright, let's see what's next. 1 and 2. Alright, so at this point in time I think I'm going to have the opportunity to do another landmark, my second landmark, and I'm going to take that. So how we do landmarks is we assign the other number to the first box. So there's a 1 and 2, so 1 wedge and 2 goes there. And then on the next roll, we choose one of the numbers to put in the second box, which will show us the coordinates for the landmark. So landmarks take 2 turns, whereas all of the other features just take 1 turn to actually place on your map. So let's see what the other coordinate is. Of course, if you're playing along and you didn't choose a landmark, then this would be 2 turns for you as well. All right, so let's see what the next coordinate is. Okay, so I can choose a 1 or the 4, so I could put it 2 and 1 in either of these spaces, or 2 and 4 in either this space or this space over here. And this space is okay, even though right now it's in ocean and it's not explored, because landmarks can always go in unexplored spaces. Putting it here by the way, wouldn't make a lot of sense for our Traveler's Arrest quest, because that would nullify the points we already got for the castle. So I think we already have a nice road leading up to this space, so I think that might be nice to have our second landmark in this space here. And I think we'll do another castle, because again, castle does equal 3 houses, so we can start to score more points for that quest. So let's do that now. There's my castle. It turned out a little odd, bit melted, but that is okay. You can draw things how you want in this game, as long as they follow the placement rules. All right, let's see what's next. 2 and 2. All right, 2 and 2. So this is going to have to be a 2 in the second wedge. And it's going to have to be a 2 value coastline. That's actually perfect for us though, because that's all we need to end this section of coastline. So let's do that. All right, and that is my coastline done. So I actually don't need really any more coastline, because I've separated this section of the map, which I just want to keep as the ocean expanse to earn those points there. All right, let's see what's next. 5 and 6. All right, so I want to venture into this 6 wedge a little more. Don't need any more coastlines, but I do need some more forest, so I'm going to choose that. So let's assign the 5 to this forest. Let's add some more forest. Alright, so that's my forest done, and that's crossing over 5 intersections there. Alright, by the way, the game will end when the dice get rolled and there's nothing that you can do with them. So one thing I am trying to do is trying to actually fill in specific wedges as quickly as possible, so that the game end can get triggered and I can hopefully have some unused features in the map. Alright, so let's see what's next. Alright, another double 2. Alright, so I can choose a river or a road in this case. And this river right now is unfinished, obviously, and that would be I would lose a point for that if the game were to end. So and also finishing, if I do a river here, that's gonna open up a house, houses I should say. So let's do that. Alright, so that river's crossed over twice now, and that's it. So let's see what's next. 1 and 1. Okay, so I have a couple of options here. I could do one house, I could do one name, or I could do one island. Now, islands are small features, as are houses, so they go within a space. I really want more houses, though, for the Traveler's Rest quest. So I think I will choose an island in this case, because it's not going to give me any points if I have multiple islands, so it's okay to burn this island. So let's add one, and let's draw the island in an already explored space, so maybe it can be coming off here. My island. Let's see what's next. 1 and 3. All right. Landmarks are always good because we can get 4 points if we place them correctly. So I think we want to get closer to this landmark space here. Now I don't want to choose one though, because we're going to earn points for the streams we add. So I think we'll do one mountain here. So let's do that now. Alright, so here's my one mountain crossing over the one intersection. Let's see what's next. 2 and 5. Okay. Alright, so now I think is a good point to do some houses. So I'm going to choose 5 houses. It also would have been a good chance to do streams as well, but that's okay. We can do that later. Actually, this whole wedge is quite good for us. But alright, so I'm going to add 5 houses. The houses don't all need to be in the same space, but they do need to be in an explored space. So I couldn't put them here, for example, because this space hasn't been explored yet. But anywhere else that has a feature, I can add them. Yeah, so I'm going to add those houses, and I'm going to add 5 of them, and to try to earn more points for our Traveler's Rest quest there. Alrighty, so that's that. I've added my 5 houses all to this space. I didn't need to add them all to the one space. You can separate them. And at this stage, for this quest, I do have 8 houses within this space. 5 houses plus the castle, which is the equivalent of 3. So I am earning 5 points just for this space, which is nice. Alright, let's see what's next. 1 and 2. I think we'll do one... No, I think we'll do 2 names. So I'm doing 2 names, and names are a kind of a bit of a unique feature in that they have they can be placed anywhere on the map, and the labels that you give can apply to anything on the map. But labeling something with a name doesn't render it explored. So it's just basically adding a label to an area or a feature on the map. And I think in this case, this is why I have a red pen for names. I'm going to add 2 names to the map, and I'm going to add them in red just so they stand out a little bit. All right, let's think about what to add. Now, you might notice the border of the game sheet does have a bunch of words that might help you conjure a name for the different parts of your map. So I'm just going to have a bit of a scan around the border, try to find some names I like that kind of relate to different areas of the map. And again, just 2, and then I'll go and write those in a moment. Okay, so I've added my 2 names. I've added the Rotten Forest label to this forest here. I'm not sure what's happened here, but probably not a place you want to go. And I've also added the Dark Sea here, just to show you that you can add names to unexplored areas, and it does not count towards this quest, by the way. So adding a name to an area doesn't mean that it's explored. So names are a bit different in that way to all the other features. All right, let's see what's next. 3 and 4. Okay, so I think now is a good chance to add another landmark. So let's add the 4 here. So again, landmarks take place over 2 turns. On the next turn, I roll for the next coordinate, which is either a 4 or a 6. So I could choose 4 and 4 or 4 and 6. 4 and 4 would put a landmark here. 4 and 6 would put a landmark here or here. Don't really want one there. Here could be okay though. So yes, let's do 4 and 4. And I'm not going to do another castle now because I want to be able to, I want to have one-time abilities to avoid any rolls that could put me in a bad position. So there are a bunch of these one-time abilities that we can use based on a landmark that we choose there. So I'm thinking just a keep might be good. And a keep is going to allow us to ignore the dice results, so basically skip a turn if we get something that we don't like. So I'm going to go ahead and add that there and add my keep landmark to this space here. Okay, there we go, that's that. So I need to just keep that in mind that I can use that ability one time for the duration of the game. You don't have to use the ability, but it does give you an option. All right, let's see what's next. 3 and 6. All right. 3 and 6 is not bad. Actually, that's quite good. So I'm going to choose the third wedge. 6. I'm going to add 6 streams. Now streams are like houses, lakes and islands, and we have to place them within a space, and they're going to come in handy for this quest here. So I'm going to add my 6 streams. Streams of course should be branching off other bodies of water, so that's either starting a river, so where rivers originate, or branching off rivers, or branching off lakes, or branching even off the coastline. And I've got 6 of them, so I'm going to add them to different spaces to help earn more points for this quest here. All right, let's go. Okay, so I've added my 6 streams. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, let's see what's next. 3 and 4. Okay. I think here we want to put a 3 there. Let's actually choose a road. And we can extend this road or even start a new one. No, let's extend this road into this area and then try to add another village somewhere. So I'm going to add 3 roads. Alright, there's my road. Alright, let's see what's next. 1 and 6. Alright, if I add the 6 to the first wedge, that would be good because I get 6 houses. However, that would mean that I've finished that wedge and another, and then I wouldn't be able to do any more 1s, and it would actually accelerate the end of the game. So I think we'll actually, but that would be good though. Tricky. Yeah, actually, I would think I will do that. So I'm going to choose 6 houses. And because I've completed this wedge, I can color in this little circle here just to remind myself that I can't add anything more, any other features from the wedge. Alright, now I have to add my 6 houses. Okay, so I decided to add 2 houses to each of these 3 spaces. And the reason for that is that there's no point adding any more houses to this space because I've already maxed out the points I can get. And I realized that I can also get pretty good value for money if I add just 2 houses rather than just loading up one space with a lot of houses. Alright, so that is that. Let's see what is next. 4 and 5. Okay. Alright, this time I think it is time to do another landmark. So I assign the 5 to the first box. I roll again. And I can choose the 2 or the 4. So I could go 5 and 2 here, 5 and 4 here, 5 and 2 here, or 5 and 4 here. Alright, so neither of these options are very good for me because I don't want to have any landmarks next to any other landmarks. And I also don't want to put anything in this space here because that's going to take away points for our geology quest. So I'm going to activate the keep ability from earlier, and I show that it's activated by putting a little check mark next to it. And so I'm just going to ignore this roll of 2 and 4, and I'm going to roll again. Hope for something better. 5 and 3. So that wasn't much. Yeah, that wasn't much better. So I kind of wasted that a little bit, but that's okay. I'm just going to stick with it, and I think we'll do 5 and maybe 5 and 5. I'll choose the 5. And I'm going to do what I probably should have done when I chose the keep and actually not chosen the keep but instead chosen a temple or ruins. So maybe let's go ruins, which allow us to kind of manipulate the dice results rather than just ignoring them. And yeah, that is a bit of a shame because I won't get points for this quest for the ruins and the keep now, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and add the ruins here. And there are my ruins. Another thing I could have done, I could have just skipped that and just put a cross through it. I would have lost 1 point in scoring. However, I wouldn't have invalidated the points for the keep. So that I probably should have done that in hindsight, but that's okay. All right, so ruins gives me the ability to manipulate the dice results by taking whatever the total is and dividing that up how I wish. So in the future, if I roll a 5 and a 3, for example, I could change that to a 4 and a 4, or a 6 and a 2, and that could help us. And again, that is also a one-time ability, as was the keep. All right, let's see what's next. 1 and 2. All right, so we can't go into this wedge. It's going to have to be one road or one stream. I want to keep a few streams up my sleeve, so I'm going to choose one road. And maybe just continue this. Actually, maybe start a new road. All right, that's that. Let's see what's next. All right, 4 and 5. At this point, I think I will do. I do need to finish the river, but 5 is going to be a bit more than I wanted. So I think I will do 5 names for now, just so we're getting closer to filling in this wedge. And yeah, so let's add 5 names. All right, and I've added 5 more names to the map. So let's get going. It has 6 and 6. 6 and 6. Okay. All right, this is good. So let's do another landmark. Let's add 6 there. Let's roll again, and I really want to get actually another. I want to get another 6. The second roll. All right, nice. All right, that is good. All right, the reason. So let's add 6 here. And the reason is I want to put a... Oh no, that is next to... What was I thinking? Alright, I wasn't thinking about that at all. I forgot that ruins was there. Oh, well, it doesn't matter at this point. I may as well add a landmark because that does give me an ability. Alright, I've got this one a bit wrong. But that's okay. Alright, so let's choose a temple. Alright, and I have to add a temple to this space. Alright, here's my temple. And the temple allows us to add 1 or subtract 1 from a future die result. And again, this is another one-time ability. So that's that. And again, I haven't done a great job with this quest because I've put these 3 landmarks in surrounding spaces, so they won't score. But still, landmarks are handy in the game. So That's okay. All right, let's see what's next. All right, 5 and 2. Okay, at this point, I want to add more. I want to add more forest, but I also want to add more streams. But I think I want to add more forest more, so I'm going to choose 5 forests. Alrighty, so here's my 5 value forest, and getting pretty close to the end of the game here, so I need to start earning a few more points, I think. Let's see what's next. 5 and 6. Okay, so haven't ventured into the 5th wedge at all, but there are some houses there which would be handy for my towns quest. So I think I will do that. Alright, and a 6 with a coastline can be used in a bit creatively, in that I can use this to make an island that just has to cross over the grid line 6 times. So again, I'm not wanting to really venture into this area because I'm thinking about my Ocean Expanse quest. So I need to get a bit creative and create my own island here. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, so I've used the 6 coastline to create this island, and it crosses over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So that is one thing you can do with coastlines. If you don't actually want to continue to make a continent, you can use them to make islands, or also small lakes within the map as well. So you can do that as well. Alright, let's see what's next. 4 and 5. Okay. Alright, I'm going to bite the bullet here, and I'm going to add 4 houses. And let's find some spaces for houses on our map. Alright, so I've added my 4 houses. Let's see what's next. 3 and 3. Alright, so 3 and 3. So I'm going to have to either choose I can choose a coastline, or 3 coastlines, or 3 names. Neither of these are really going to help me with scoring at all. So what I think I will do in this case is I am going to rearrange with the Ruins ability, and I'm going to change the 3 and the 3 into a 4 and a 2, and I'm going to make 4 streams completing this second wedge. And let's go ahead and add those streams to the map. Alrighty, so I have added 4 streams to my map, and I've added 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here, which currently make 0 sense because they're not connected to anything. However, I am hoping to get some lakes that I can then connect these streams to. If not, then I will lose points for these streams that don't connect to anything during the scoring phase at the end of the game. So let's see what's next though. Hopefully get closer to those lakes. 6 and 1, can't use the first wedge, I think, and I don't want to use just one house, so I think I'll do 1 name. Alright, that is that. Let's see what's next. 1 and 6 again. Okay. Alright, at this point I really don't want coastline at all, so I think I'm just going to have to choose 1 house. It's a little bit of a shame to just add 1, but that's okay, this happens. And I think I'll add it to the castle space, so then the house count in this space goes up from 3 to 4, helping this quest. Alrighty, let's see what's next. 1 and 6 again. Oh no. Alright, well, that is a bit unfortunate. What I'm going to do though is I really don't want to use the coastline, so I'm going to use my temple ability and change the 6 into a 5, and I'm going to put, so 5 and 1, and I'm going to put the 1 here, and finally connect this river to the coastline, because that has been bothering me for a while. So let's cross this over here. That's where the river's going to cross one time, and let's finish the river. That's that. Alright, so what I really want in this next roll is something with a 5, so I can add some lakes and fix up these streams that don't make any sense. Alright, let's see what's next. 4 and 4. Alright, that is not ideal, but that is okay. I'm going to have to choose river, and that's also going to complete this 4th wedge. But that's okay. Alright. And I could actually create a river from one of these streams. That might be a better option. One thing I haven't mentioned yet is that in general, features cannot overlap each other. So you can't have a river just going through a forest, for example. However, the one exception to that is you can have rivers and roads cross over one another. That is okay. Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to use the river to fix at least one of these streams up, and I think that will be. I think I'll do this one. Alrighty, so there's my river, and let's see what's next. 5 and 6, okay. Alright, this is good because I can add my lake with a 6. I'm going to add 6 lakes, in fact. And lakes are small features, so they go within spaces. So let's add 6 lakes to my map. Alright, so I've gone and added 6 lakes. I've added 1 here to fix the stream, 1 here, 1 near the temple, 1 near Frogtown, probably more of a pond than a lake, 1 on this small island, just for fun, although it just looks like a donut at this point, but I'll fix that later. And then the last one near this castle in the upper left corner. Alright, so at this point in time, I really probably just want to finish the game soon, so then I maybe have a few more of these unused features on my map. So let's see what's next. 2 and 3. Let's do 2 names. Okay, and I have added my 2 names. Alright, getting close to the end now, but let's see what's next. Alright, 6 and 6. I could get creative with the 6, but I think at this point I'm just going to skip that feature of the coastline. So I'll put a cross through it, because I really don't want to add that to my map. And let's see what's next. Oh, and I should point out I finished that wedge too. Alright, 4 and 5. Alright, so at this point I've rolled a 4 and a 5. Looking at my options here, I can't do anything in the 4th wedge. In the 5th wedge, neither of these options are going to be good for me, so I am going to choose the 4th wedge, and I'm going to then end the game there. And so, because I can't do anything in that 4th wedge, so that is the end of the game. So I can go ahead and score based on the 5 quests here. So we'll look at first the Ocean Expanse, 2 points per ocean only space, and I think I was able to get the full marks for that, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Again, these spaces that have the names in it, that's okay for ocean only spaces, but these ones here, for example, that have bit of coastline in it, that would not count. So I do get 20 points for that, which is actually the maximum you can get for any one quest. Alright, next is a landmarks quest, and we get 4 points per space that contains a landmark, yet has no landmarks in surrounding spaces. So I think we had this one here, here, and I think that was it, because these 3 landmarks, the keep, the ruins, and the temple, were all surrounding each other, so they don't score. So we only get 8 points for that quest. Next one, flowing streams. We get 2 points per space that has forest and a stream. And in that case, I think we did pretty well. And the easiest way to kind of count these is just to scan each row. I think that's the easiest way. So scan each row. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So that was good. So we get the full 20 points for that nature quest. Next, the towns quest. Spaces with roads, yet no houses in surrounding spaces, earn points based on how many houses they contain. So we look at this space here. This counts because it has a road and no houses in surrounding spaces. So that is going to be, and that has a castle and 1 house, which equals 4 houses. So that's going to be 3 points. Make a little note here, 3 points. This one also counts. So this one and that one had 10. So 7 houses and 1 castle. So that's going to be 6 points. Frogtown does count because there are no houses in the surrounding spaces. The keep is not a house. That was 2, so that's another 2. The Uncanny Point had 4 houses and no houses in surrounding spaces, so that's 3. And Ironhome had 2, so that's going to be 2. Alright, so that means we had 9 plus 7, so we got 16 points for that quest. Alright, and the last quest is our wheel quest, which gave us 2 points per unused feature in the wheel. And if I look around here, 4 of the 6 wedges were totally complete, so they were all used up. However, this one here was unused, and these 2 features here were unused. I think that's it. Yes, so that would be 6 points for that quest. And the last thing is for any map mistakes, we lose a point. There weren't any map mistakes as far as I can see because we did fix that issue with the streams. However, I did skip a feature during the game, and that equals that results in a -1 point. So that's -1. All right, and then we can calculate the score, which is 48 plus 22, so 70. So I think that is 69, I believe, is what I scored. And yeah, so if you were playing, I think there are a few points where I probably didn't play that optimally, and I'm sure you might be able to beat my score. If you are able to beat my score, let me know how you did. Or even if you didn't beat my score, let me know how you did anyway. If you were able to play. I thought this combination of quests was a little bit tricky for me, and we weren't even playing with events in this game. So yeah, so but at least we made a fantasy map. We did it. We made a fantasy map. One thing you can do as well is if you're playing this game solo, you can score against the AI opponents, and their score is written in the bottom left. The bottom of the quest cards. And all you need to do is add up these numbers. So we have 3 AI opponents. We have the Explorer, the Artist, and the Master. And you can add up their score and add it to this solo mode section just to compare how you did. I guess the goal is to beat the Explorer, and then as you get better at the game, trying to beat the Artist and then the Master as well in the future. So I am curious how I went against these AI opponents. So I think I'll add that up now. So with this particular group of quests, the AI opponent scored as follows. The Explorer scored 67, so we was able to beat him, which is good. Him, her, who knows, them. And the Artist scored 77, so didn't quite beat the Artist and got nowhere near the Master. One way to calculate the AI score easily is just to add 10 points for each level of difficulty, plus any 1 point for each event triggered as well. So the event scoring. Events have their own scoring thing when it comes to the AI opponents. That will be it for this video. So thank you for watching. I hope you found it interesting, or you could play against me and maybe do a bit better than I did, but or at least you had some fun along the way. But that is Fantasy Map Maker, and yeah, good luck with your map making journeys, and I will catch you on the next one.